What up, y'all? This is Hip Hop History, and we are back with another recap. Fresh off RBE's Pearly Gates 3. Got the main event, Math Hoffa and Hollow the Dinanon. And this battle was ugly for Hollow. This turned into a body in the third round. And, I had Math 3-0, but to be honest, the first two rounds, people are going to try to debate them. I'll put it to you like this: the main difference between their material or the way they structured their material is that Hollow was basically spitting bars, and they would always lead up to a joke that fell flat. And I don't know why he came with this many jokes, because this was not that type of battle. The jokes weren't great either. With Math, he had a lot of jokes, but his jokes would build up into a haymaker that actually had substance to it and truth to it, because a lot of the stuff that he was talking about is already public knowledge. It's just stuff that went on in battle rap. The reason why he feels like Hollow's disloyal, so that went a long way. Hollow most definitely looked like he held back. He kind of reminded me of Rex when he battled Shine. The gloves weren't off. And he even mentioned during the battle, like, I could say a lot of personal stuff, but he didn't, and Matt did. And, that was pretty much the main difference in this. Hollow, he had three, I'd say, decent rounds, very light. Every round, beatable. Every time he finished the round, I was like, wow, that's it. He just leaves the door wide open for Math. Math would come in, take the round. And another major difference, Math's rounds were a lot longer. He spit probably like three times longer than Hollow each round. And so while Math is spitting, like, what's going through my mind and probably your mind, if you watch this or if you're gonna watch it, is like, you're already measuring, like, yeah, that's pretty much enough to beat Hollow's round, because Hollow's rounds were that light. you know Battle was kind of whack, to be honest. The first couple of rounds were real bad. The highlight of the battle was the third round. I think Hollow had a strong third, and unfortunately for him, Math caught a body in the third. So I didn't even think that was enough for him. And it wasn't like it was packed with punches. It was basically Math exposing Hollow, for the whole LOM clothing brand and what Hollow did. So basically, he's accusing him of embezzlement. Um, he had two partners, with LOM, that they either co-owners or they were investors. But bottom line, there's funny stuff going on with the label, and these other two, partners or co-owners, they started looking into where's all this money going, and they realized that Hollow, not only was he not paying taxes, but he was stealing money from the other partners. So he stole $50,000, and as far as like Hollow now running with this hidden label clothing, brand, if you put the pieces together, that makes it even more convincing. I'm not on the inside of all this. I don't know what's true, what isn't true, but Matt definitely sold it, and Hollow's reaction sold it that much more. He was staring at the ground. He couldn't even make eye contact, not only with Matt, but even the crowd. Like, his neck was just straight up. It's like, what is that, 45-degree angle? Just eyes staring at his own feet. It looked bad. It looked real bad for Hollow. So Matt brought them on stage, and took out the manila envelope, battle rap, favorite prop in battle rap. Now, who knows what's in there, but basically, Matt was serving him with papers. So, Hollow has a lawsuit on his hands for embezzling money from this company, and on top of that, Matt was basically saying he signed on to be co-owner with the other two owners of lomclothingstore.com. So now Matt owns LOM. I don't know, man. It's pretty crazy, and that's why it hit so hard, because nobody really saw that coming. And the funny thing is that Hollow alluded to it throughout the battle. He kept talking about LOM Because I have a feeling, either he knew, like, all right, Math might bring this up, or someone kind of like tipped him off and told him, all right, I know Matt's angle and it's about LOM. But you could tell Hollow didn't know where he was going to go with it. And when he did, it hit, and it hit him hard. I don't think Hollow expected that. I don't know what he thought. Like, Hollow's vibe was like, oh, yeah, we're going to come up here and just trade bars, see who's a better lyricist. And I have no idea why he came in with that approach. Maybe he felt bad. Maybe he started feeling guilty, about the friendship, and he feels like he has been disloyal. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I could tell you this is not the Hollow you're used to seeing. This is one of his worst performances I've ever seen, and also like the energy in the room was real bad for Hollow. A lot of Math supporters in the building, and on top of that, Hollow was shook, like visibly. You could tell that he wanted out of that battle ASAP. So, you can hear all the audio, and you hear him telling ARP, like, how am I going to get out of here? Like asking him basically like for safety, you know what I'm saying? So ARP is like, all right, you guys are going to exit separately in separate exits. And they're telling him, like, I got you, like, you'll leave with us. So now I don't know if Hollow was scared that basically something might happen to him, or maybe he got thrown off when he saw the co-owners of LOM, and he didn't want to get served papers. He's probably been avoiding this, but yeah, basically Matt broke down that story. He said that Hollow stole the money, headed down to Florida, with his kid and his girl, I guess, and one of these dudes found where he lived, went down there, ran up on him. Hollow dipped, called the cops on him, and, basically further proving Matt's point that he's disloyal, he's not to be trusted, which was pretty much the theme of the battle. But, Matt didn't really go into that until later. So, we could go first round. Like, first round, Matt shows up with a bubble on, zipped up, and it looks like he's got like a prop strapped to his stomach or something like that. But he didn't. All he had was LOM clothing on. So when he took the jacket off, when it was his go, that was all it was. So that was kind of weird. But yeah, the first two rounds weren't good. From I didn't think either of them had great rounds. Hollow's first was just really light. It seemed like every other bar was sort of like good, but not great, nothing crazy. Look, this is somebody that the battle rap community, they hold him in high regard. He's treated as the GOAT, and this is just a weak performance. These bars that you hear, you're gonna hear a lot of wordplay you've heard already, and you'll hear it on both sides. But for a battle of this magnitude, you expect a crazy performance, and Hollow had one of his worst performances I've ever seen. He's a lot more creative than that too. Surprised he just didn't do anything outside of the box, which is what he's usually known for. He experiments. He'll try new things. This battle, no, it was a couple of bars that would just lead to a joke, and I'm telling you, every joke just fell flat. It was like, wow, you came up here joking, crazy. And like I said, Matt too. He had a lot of jokes, but the thing is the way he structured it is just that his jokes would lead to a hard punch, and you'll see the difference. Very different. They both had rebuttals. I felt like Hollow's second round was stronger than his first, but he really fell off towards the end of the round, and it got weird. Like, the way Hollow was delivering the bars, he wasn't getting the reactions he thought he deserved. So his performance was off. It was just weird. But one of the bars he did, in that weird Hollow voice, he was like, "I am God," and he like lifted his both arms, like making muscles. It was so whack. He got no reaction, and Matt flipped it right away with the Coney Island situation, and he was like, we all saw you try to walk on water. You're not God. So that was pretty funny. And that kind of, set the tone for Matt's second. It took the whatever kind of energy Hollow had there, where you were like, okay, he might do better in the second. Nah, and Math had a lot of stumbles in that second round too, so that took away from his round. His rounds were also so long that for all the good bars Math had, like I thought Math had better material in all three rounds, pretty clearly too. But his rounds were just so long that if he would have ended on a strong point and cut out a lot of that filler, it would have been even uglier for Hollow. But instead, Math had some dry spots, but his rounds were just so much longer, and Hollow's rounds were so light that Math was clearly getting every round, and that's just the way it was playing out. But also a lot of tension. So like I said, there were a lot of Math supporters in the building. Hollow's cousin was real extra, and this is the same cousin that Matt talked about at the press conference or at the Faceoff. So, you could kind of see why they had problems, and this continued into this battle. So before the battle started, Matt was like, "Get him out of here." He shouldn't even be on stage. They basically said each of you have three people in your entourage. They agreed, and now at some point in the second round, Hollow's cousin started whispering in Hollow's ear while Math was rapping, and Math got tight. He walked up to both of them and basically physically pulled the two of them apart. Like with his right hand, he pushed Hollow's cousin back. With his left hand, pushed Hollow to the left. Like he was just regulating both of them with both hands physically. And Hollow's cousin was like barking, I'm gonna catch you outside. Not just that I'm gonna catch you outside, I'm gonna smoke you outside. He was talking about killing him like a few times throughout the battle. Real extra. And honestly, that might have affected Hollow because it looks like his cousin's just like a loose cannon. Hollow seems a little bit more calculated. He knows he's outnumbered, and I'm talking probably like 100 to 2. You know what I mean? Like it was bad. It wasn't the time to play tough guy or one man army. It's like, my dude, relax. You're in a battle. Let your cousin get his bars off, and that was pretty much Hollow's vibe. Now they kicked his cousin out because of that. ARP told him to leave the stage. He ended up coming back in the third round, but when the cousin left, Matt goes over to Hollow and he's like, "Do we have a problem?" And you could just see like Hollow is shook, and Hollow's like, "Who, me and you, or my cousin, and you?" And Matt was just looking at him like, "Look, if this goes left, it's not going to be good for either of you. So, let me know what it is." And yeah, it was just bad. So now you got Hollow standing there all alone. His cousin isn't even behind him. It was just ugly for him. But yeah, so I mean, with Matt's angles, he was focusing on the Coney Island situation, and he spun it into like a joke. So with Hollow diving in the water, he kind of nicknamed him Splish Splash. He's calling him Splishy, and he was tying it in with his bars, so he kept bringing it back. Like in comedy, like a callback, he would bring it back at good times where it was effective. And then his other angle was basically about Hollow's sister, but not the situation that we already know about, where basically like Math tried to help Hollow, without being asked. He was saying, I all this time I've been wanting to get with your sister. I used to show up when you weren't around, this and that. So, real disrespectful. He was also talking about Hollow's kid by name, throwing it out there. And yeah, it was bad. It was real bad for Hollow. Might not look as bad, when they drop the battle and stuff, but I feel like this is pretty much a unanimous 3-0. Now, one of his bars one of Matt's bars, basically he said that when his sister came out the shower, she was smelling like baby breath. And I just want to clarify, because I know what he's talking about. I see a lot of Hollow fans talking about, Matt being a pedophile, and, he's not talking about an actual baby and a baby's breath. Baby breath is, those are those like white buds with the stems. that you find in like bouquets, you know what I mean? You know, roses, the little white shit that surrounds the roses, that's baby breath. So that's what he was getting at, that she smells like that. But man, some of these fans, man, they will jump out the window. Hollow 3-0 because Matt's a pedophile. It's like, nah, he's not. That why would he say that? You know what I mean? Obviously there's another meaning, but that's what the meaning is, and that's what he meant. And but that's just a little thing. And the debate, it's like I see a lot of people trying to, argue that it was debatable. I don't see it. You could try to say Matt stumbles in the second, but they weren't really all that major, and he did get through his rounds. And credit to Hollow, because Hollow, like I said, this is a real weak performance from him, but he did get through all three rounds. I don't think he had one stumble at all, and he delivered the stuff, fairly well for somebody who looked like he was scared for his life. Hollow's attitude throughout the whole battle was just that he wanted to get it over with and get out the venue. And then you got, rumors that basically Sirius Jones snuffed Math, and that's why there was such a long delay before the battle. So I expected the complete opposite. Like I thought Math would be kind of off, but he didn't look like he had a scratch on him, and he really controlled that whole situation on stage. And every area of battle rap, he was better than Hollow. He was more believable. The stories he was telling, it's like we already know a lot of the stuff he was talking about. On top of that, his jokes were funnier. He had better bars, and he was more personal, and that's what was so important. Like this is a battle that, the face-off was real personal. So obviously, you'd think the battle would be that way, but something happened to Hollow between that face-off and this battle, because he shifted from you saw how he was in the face-off. Hollow was real extra, and the funny thing is, like, I'm a fan of both of them, but that face-off made me root for Math, because I just didn't like Hollow's whole angle. Like basically, he was trying to talk down to Math and tell him that like he's grown as a person, which is fine. But the way he was talking to him bothered me, and it's sort of like when there's a chick that'll she'll get out of pocket solely because she knows you're a guy, and that in society like men aren't supposed to hit women. So she'll go overboard and push your buttons and get under your skin, and legitimately think like nothing's gonna happen. You know what I mean? And sometimes people get emotional and you can't control your emotions. But Hollow was treating Matt that way throughout the face-off, and it rubbed me the wrong way, and I'm sure it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because I see a lot of people that were pulling for Matt. So Hollow also had this vibe where it's like, I'm so much smarter than you, and I'm so much better than you. You know what I mean? As a person, like I've grown, and it's like, yeah, sometimes you outgrow friends, but just real condescending. Like, oh, you're this, like you're stuck in this street life, and I'm this entrepreneur and all this, and it's like, listen, you guys ran together. I don't know how far removed you are from that, but it is pretty convenient that all this happened, with the Diz situation. So I don't know how much Hollow has grown. You know, I know him thinking he had a kid, and of course, you have a kid, your whole life changes. But Math has kids too, and it's it's just one of those things, and it's kind of like what Math was saying, where basically depending on who you are, that'll probably lead to who you lean towards with the battle. Um, on top of that too, like just looking at this situation, in life, like we all experience, different friendships, and a lot of times, you'll have snakes in your life within your inner circle, and you may run with them for years until you get put in a scenario where you find out who they really are. You know what I mean? And sometimes that doesn't happen for a long time with certain people, but I've been there, and I'm sure you've been there, And that's just that vibe I get from Hollow. And there's nothing that I hate more than that. You know, somebody who's disloyal, you can't put a price on loyalty. So again, with the face-off, you know, Hollow's coming in there talking about, I got more money than you. Like, let's not even get into that. Like, I'll embarrass you on that level. And it's like, aren't you loyalty over money? Like, where's all this coming from? You know, so when you see Math talking about, you know, what happened to you, like, you know, you get it. And I don't know, maybe Hollow needed a reality check, and maybe this was his reality check. But you know, and I'm on the outside looking in, so Hollow wants to talk about perspectives. This is my perspective. This is how I viewed all that. So you know, and I take it with a grain of salt. You know, obviously I'm a fan of both of them. I just want to see a good battle. I didn't think this was a great battle. Third round was good, and if you're into, you know, people being exposed and stuff like that, then you'll find it entertaining. But you know, I don't know how much replay value it'll have. I don't know. I don't really think it lived up to the hype. But that third round was powerful, and it's one of those rounds where you know, you may look at Hollow in a different light, and it makes you kind of wonder too about both of their futures. So with Hollow, like if I was him, you know, a lot of people are probably thinking he should take a step back from battle rap because he looked so uninspired in the battle. But I think it was just because of this battle. You know, it seemed like he was really holding back. He might be better off jumping into another one and having a good performance. But before he does that, I think he needs to address that third round. I think he should come out with the video and give his side of the story, whether it's true or not. I feel like he needs to say something because you know, he's out here looking shaky. I know a lot of his fans, they're going to look at him funny. There's a lot of people that buy LOM clothing. And, you know, he's lucky for that. Like, Battle Rap has really, really supported him. So, you know, they might feel weird about things right now. And of course, I don't know how true that third round was, but, you know, if Math owns LOM now, like, that kind of changes things. Hollow fans are probably going to hate Math, you know. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. But but overall, you know, it was entertaining that last round. But yeah, I had it Math 3-0 clearly. You want to argue rounds, you know, feel free. You know, I'm open minded. I'm always down to discuss. So you try to convince me. You know, I watched it twice now, and I actually did a recap off my first watch, and it was the same way 3-0, but now I was really seeing like the little details, the stumbles, the just everything, you know, facial expressions and yeah, I had it the same way 3-0, but I was also, you know, it was almost more underwhelming the second time around. And the first time around, I was like, wow, this battle is bad. You know, those first two rounds, not great. But yeah, it is what it is. You know, at least they got it out the way, and you know, at the end, no pound, no dapping it up, none of that. You know, Hollow looked like he leaned to the floor to pick up the papers that he served him, which is crazy. You know, I swear I've seen it all in battle rap now. Never thought I would have seen that, but yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, let me know what you think. You know, let me know who you had, why. You know, we could discuss anything, argue anything. So feel free to drop a comment. You know, hit that like button, subscribe, and you know, I'll talk to you soon. Peace.